The Virtual Boys have been playing Nintendo since they were little. These 60-plus combined years of experience have made them experts in the field. Or at least, they sure think so. Join them this week as they talk about something from the wonderful world of Nintendo. You're listening to the Virtual Boys Podcast, a Nintendo podcast about Nintendo things by Nintensity. This podcast is done by four friends that talk about anything and everything Nintendo. Check out the website at nintensity.com and be sure to follow us on social media. Be sure to subscribe and share the show with your friends. Oh, of course, enjoy the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Virtual Boys Podcast, a Nintendo podcast about Nintendo things. This is episode number 101. I'm your host, David. Just Metroid news, please. Accompanied with Jordan.
Please stand by.
And James.
Set your expectations to low.
We are unfortunately missing Skylar this week for our big E3 episode, but we'll excuse him this once. Because E3 is quickly approaching, and the hype train has officially left the station, and there are no breaks. We're so close that it's now time for us to offer our annual pre-E3 predictions episode. But first, before we get into this, just want to remind you to check out our Patreon page to help support the show at patreon.com/Nintensity. And if you want to talk about this episode with us, come check out our Discord community at nintendo.city/Discord. Anyway, let's predict Nintendo games. Before we get started with our predictions, however, Jordan, why don't you give us a rundown on our new game that we started with the Smash Brothers release?
Yeah, so we're continuing the same game that we started with the Smash Bros. The point totals will add up with each game, so they're considered pretty much the same game. Basically, each member of the podcast gives out a certain amount of predictions that we have come up with prior to the episode, and each prediction is worth 3 points, but is also worth one less point for each other Virtual Boy that has the same or a related prediction. So if David and I were to both predict the same game, it would be worth 2 points if we were correct. Each prediction that doesn't come true is worth -1 points. And if before we do our episode or anything, we outlaw predictions that are pretty stupid.
Yeah, so that we don't have any dumb predictions that's like, Nintendo will show a trailer of anything. You know, just really basic general stuff that isn't as interesting or fun to talk about. Because you get all these predictions where people like totally nail it on the head because they play it safe. No, we want to go after the points. We want to really have good predictions that may or may not come true.
Some are a bit safe, but it's not like super, super safe.
Yeah. Yeah, like a trailer for a game that we know will get a trailer or something like Yoshi's going to get a trailer, you know, like that we've already seen a trailer for or whatever. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump in to our E3 predictions. Jordan, why don't you give us your first one?
So we recently were shown Fallout 76, and we know that's going to be a big talking point about the Bethesda show coming up pretty quick here. Mm-hmm. This isn't my prediction, but I don't think 76 is coming to the Switch. I think instead the Switch is going to get a Fallout 3 port, not a remaster, not a remake or anything like some people were hoping for, but just something that Bethesda can throw a bone towards Switch users. Because this is Fallout 3's 10th anniversary edition, and I think they're kind of tying that into Fallout 76, hence why it's set in West Virginia, which is really close to DC, which was the setting of Fallout 3. So I think Fallout 3's map will be a part of Fallout 76. And so there was no reason to make a full remake of the game, but they haven't quite got Fallout 4's engine to the Switch yet. So they'll just throw on Fallout 3, I think, to the Switch. My prediction is Fallout 3 port for the Switch.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had a single Fallout game on a Nintendo console, right? So
right.
Any Fallout game on Nintendo would be good, I think. I haven't played any of the games, and I think it would be an excellent addition to the library. Good prediction.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really, really good prediction. I I've been thinking that Bethesda would do another game, at least something, and Fallout just seems to be the one series that Nintendo just hasn't had yet. So I think that'd be a really good idea, and that's a good prediction, I think. But with Bethesda, I wonder, like, I don't know. Do you think they're ever gonna put a new Bethesda game on there, like a new Fallout? Because you mentioned Fallout 76 isn't going to be coming.
My next prediction does get into a Bethesda game that I do think
I didn't even look at that.
is going to come to the Switch. That is brand new.
Well, then we'll wait.
All right.
My bad.
Yeah. Instead
That
of
would have been a good leadway.
it would have been. But I'll go ahead and give my next one then, which is they'll give us finally Xenoblade Chronicles 2 story expansion information. But beyond that, they'll give us a trailer as well as the release date for that expansion. I know some people have managed to data mine a few images and stuff for the story. I'm keeping myself away from all of that because I love this kind of stuff. But I think that they'll give us some sort of trailer, especially if it's like a big story expansion like it seems to be.
Now, I'm going to give this to you, but I do think this is kind of on the obvious side. Because we know that it's coming adventure, like we know that the story expansion is coming, that's already been announced, and we know when the time frame is.
The not so safe part is a full trailer dedicated to it instead of them just showing some pictures and a release date, because they've done that in the past with things. We didn't expect the Octo expansion, for Splatoon 2, and they gave us a full trailer for that. And they gave us the trailer right off the bat instead of just saying, hey, there's DLC. Yeah.
Like, we already have this. And I mean, I'm not going to like say, no, you shouldn't get any points for this or anything. I'm just saying, I think it may be a little obvious, but you know what?
Have they said anything about a Xenoblade 2 story expansion?
All we know is that it's coming. We just know that it's coming. They haven't given us any other details.
They keep mentioning it, that they're working on it and things like that. Like, and they have like these little developer journal things whenever an update goes live or whatever.
Yeah. So okay. That's my first prediction. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 story expansion gets a trailer.
And a release date.
So great.
I'll hold you to the release date for it to be worth anything.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
I think it has a good chance to have if it has a trailer, I'm sure it'll have a release date.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
Yeah. I think it's very reasonable to think that it actually won't have a release date. So having that extra specific is, I think, fine.
Okay.
That's fair.
All right. Well, James, what's your next one?
Yeah. So Xenoblade Export. So that's my thinking, and it'll completely take everything out of everything that had on the gamepad. That's just going to be put into on the Switch UI, and so it'll be like reformatted for the Switch, obviously.
So even smaller text, like Hyrule Warriors opted to do.
No, what? Wait, did you think the Hyrule Warriors text was smaller?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they made the Hyrule Warriors text smaller because they had to put the text from the gamepad onto the screen, especially with the map. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The map definitely feels very small. I didn't have a problem reading the text. It was just too fast or like too much happening at once. But with Xenoblade X, yes, that was a huge issue. The text was way too small, but I don't think they're going to change it. If anything, it'll probably, like you said, it'll probably be smaller. But yeah, so that's my prediction, is that they'll do a Xenoblade Export. I
think that's a pretty gutsy guess, actually, because wouldn't you think that Xenoblade X would then compete against Xenoblade 2's story expansion?
No, I never said when it's coming out.
Okay. I
just said that, because I do think Xenoblade, I mean, they said that Xenoblade 2's story thing is happening this year. So I would think that the port would come out sometime in 2019, but they would just show it off. But but then again, maybe this port is more of like a direct to September thing. I don't know. Yeah. I made my choice.
All I know is if it comes out, I'll finally get to play it, because I didn't get it on the Wii U because I didn't have my own Wii U. So
yeah. And I guess it wasn't everybody's cup of tea kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But
moving into more Bethesda stuff, Jordan, what's your second one?
So my second one, as I hinted at earlier, is there's going to be a new Bethesda game. I believe it's going to be Doom 2. It's going to be one of their big games for this.
Cool.
And I believe it will come out for the Switch, because I don't think it will be require that many different resources than Doom 1. So Doom 1's already running for Switch, so Doom 2 could run on Switch as well. But I do think it'll come a little bit after the main release, just because they outsourced the porting for Doom 1, I believe.
Right. Yeah, they did.
That they did. Panic button or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so that answers my question right there, because I was curious. I love the Bethesda support, but when is it going to come to the point where, okay, now we're going to try to release current games on all systems, even if it's like a little bit of a delay, that I'm fine with that. Because I imagine some, obviously some newer games are going to have started development on, other systems before coming to the Switch. But honestly, that'd be great if they were to have Doom 2 on the Switch. I hope you're right. I really do.
I really do too. I really love Doom on the Switch. So having the second one, I mean, we don't even know if Doom 2 is actually going to be announced, but
yeah. Well, honestly, this is pretty gutsy. Like, because Doom 2 isn't even announced or anything.
Yeah, you're not only are you betting on a port to the Switch, but you're also betting on the game being announced. So yeah, it's pretty good. All right, well, my next one is a Pikmin 4 announcement. I mean, forever ago, Miyamoto said that Pikmin 4 was almost done, and that was like, 2 or 3 years ago? So I'm guessing that it is actually almost done now, and will come out on the Switch. We'll get some sort of announcement for it. I'm not expecting any huge sort of reveal. Like, I'm not expecting it to be releasing this year, but at least some announcement that we're getting into the Pikmin game. So
release date?
If I had to guess, I'd say probably 2019, 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
So mine is not Pikmin 4. It's Animal Crossing Switch. Now that I think of it, I probably should have said whatever. Animal Crossing Switch with Pocket Camp integration. I think it's finally time that they revealed it, and I'm sure that they're going to want to hold on to the app's somewhat success. Especially with a certain crowd, so they'll try to integrate that. And I predict that Animal Crossing Switch will come out in February of next year. I was saying this year earlier, but that was back like in February or January or whatever. Mm-hmm. And now that we know the schedule, we kind of know what the later half of the year is looking like right now for Switch.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it's rather crowded. So I'm going with Animal Crossing Switch early 2019 with Pocket Camp integration.
No, that'd be cool. I've been wanting Animal Crossing on the Switch for a long time now, and I think it's about time, They've been working on a new Animal Crossing game for quite a while. I mean, they added all that new stuff to New Leaf just 2 years ago. So I think, they've been working on a new game. Plus, they have all the HD assets from the spin-off game that they did, whatever it was called, Amiibo Festival. So, I'm pretty sure that it'll come. So, good one, James.
It'll be interesting if Animal Crossing gets released, because it's the same team that does Splatoon, right?
I think so.
They're also busy with Octo expansion right now.
Yeah. I know that they did work on Animal Crossing, but I don't know if that team has since split into two separate
They
teams.
might have expanded. I don't know.
Well, because especially with Splatoon's crazy success, you think they may have expanded a bit. I don't know.
Well, Splatoon's crazy success and Animal Crossing, so they are pretty all-star studio in Nintendo now.
You're right. Yeah. So I mean, maybe they're together, maybe they're split. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Well, Splatoon 2 was developed by Nintendo EPD. I'm trying to see. Yes, they also did Splatoon 2.
Because I know, I forget the guy's name, the guy who comes up on stage in the lab coat and does Splatoon 2. He's definitely worked on Animal Crossing in the past.
Yes, and the studio worked on Animal Crossing. Sorry, I meant to say Nintendo Entertainment Planning Development, that team, has worked on Splatoon 2, and they are also listed for Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival and Animal Crossing New Leaf Welcome Amiibo. They split off in 2015, which is year or two. I'm not sure exactly when, but after Animal Crossing New Leaf first launched. So they worked on the expansion for New Leaf. There's that.
Well, continuing my predictions for third-party titles for the Switch, I believe Ubisoft is going to have an exclusive for the Switch.
Ooh.
Hopefully, I personally hope it would be Red Steel 3, but I think Ubisoft is pretty friendly with Nintendo. And we also know that they had a few finished games for the Wii U that were never released. So I could see them just up-resing that and putting it to this Switch. So
Okay.
something from Ubisoft.
Well, that'd be cool.
great. Well, so Star Lake doesn't count, right? Like the Toys to Life game. Does that count?
Is that an exclusive?
That's not exclusive. Never mind.
Yeah. I'm not talking about just a generic Ubisoft game for the Switch. I mean specifically an exclusive.
Exclusive. Okay. All right.
Could be Rayman, Red Steel, some party game. Something specifically for the Switch from Ubisoft.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, had good with Mario and Rabbids, so hey.
And they were big proponents of the Wii U when the Wii U launched with exclusives that eventually found their way to other platforms. So
Right.
it'd be good to see Ubisoft do that again. So cool. My next prediction is Mario Maker 2. I'm not looking for a port of Mario Maker from the Wii U, especially since, Miiverse doesn't exist anymore. There's got to be some new system for sharing and commenting and stuff. But
Yeah.
I think that they will announce Mario Maker 2. It's been a while since the first Mario Maker, and we don't have a 2D Mario game on the Switch yet. And I think Mario Maker 2 will fill that void while Nintendo is working on the groundbreaking 2D Mario game that the Switch deserves.
I don't think they're ever going to make the groundbreaking 2D Mario game.
Yeah, I hope they do, because 2D Mario can be really fun, but I totally understand if they don't.
Oh, I absolutely love 2D Mario, but
Yeah.
it's too easy just to throw around the new Super Mario Bros. Brand or Mario Maker.
Yeah. I mean, it just prints money.
It just prints money. It's too lucrative, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not as hard to do.
Well, I mean, I mean, you take a look at Tropical Freeze. I mean, that's part of what makes that game so great as a platformer is the each level is unique and vibrant and alive. Whereas, Mario, 2D Mario, especially the newer ones, are just very bland-ish.
Well, definitely not the really old ones like Super Mario World and Super Mario Bros. 3. Yeah. The newer ones have that
The
problem.
new Super Mario Brother, whatever they title them now.
They just feel uninspired, just random.
Right.
I think fans on Mario Maker are making better Mario stages than Nintendo is in the last
You're not
decade.
wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, there are bad ones, but still there are some like really great things happening in Mario Maker, and that's why Mario Maker 2 it just seems so right, such a success that it would be a shame to just have it on the Wii U. I kind of think they're going to save that for next year, maybe next E3, but I would not object to them having it here. That'd be great.
Yeah.
So my next prediction is also third party. Like Jordan, it's no Bayonetta 3 trailer. Everyone is probably expecting that because of the teaser that happened at the Game Awards, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to be there. We're not going to hear anything of it. Because they're going to be quiet until they actually have something ready. Like probably gameplay and stuff like that. That's my prediction with Bayonetta 3. I guess maybe that's not that gutsy, but I don't know.
I'm kind of like in the middle on this one. Like, I'd love to see a new trailer, and I think there's the possibility that'll happen. But at the same time, I don't think we necessarily need one. So I don't know. I
think there'll be a trailer.
Oh, well, good. Well, I'm glad it's not like, oh yeah, that's obvious. So hey, there you go.
I'm predicting a March-ish release for that. So
yeah, then if that's the case, then they would need to show it now. But I'm thinking later 2019,
Okay.
like September-ish.
yeah, but later 2019 is starting to get full really fast. Metroid
True.
Prime 4, Pokemon.
True. Good company, right?
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with Bayonetta 3. We know it's coming, and I think that's enough for me right now. So
Yeah.
we got the first two just a few months ago, so I think that'll hold us until Bayonetta 3 comes out sometime next year. So, Jordan, what's your next one?
EA gets booed during their conference, loud enough that it's audible on the coverage.
Okay, this is too obvious. Like, you can't. No, I'm just kidding. This is a great prediction. I wish I would have thought of it. So great.
Any particular game or news they're going to say, or just as soon as they walk out?
At some point, they'll announce like microtransactions or something similar, and people will just lose it.
Battlefront 3, everything is a microtransaction.
Oh my gosh. No.
Every character. You can't unlock anything anymore.
I do think EA is going to start pulling back on microtransactions now. Just not because they want integrity with the fans, but because they're afraid of lawsuits happening pretty quick here.
Yeah. Everyone tuned into the EA conference.
We'll see what happens.
Gotta see what happens. Although you'll probably be bored on your mind because they'll probably go over Madden again or something like that.
Probably.
I mean, I like football, but
I mean, they're probably gonna go over FIFA 2018 or whatever the next one is.
2019,
which I've heard rumors or maybe a confirmation that that's coming to the Switch.
Yeah, it's coming to the Switch.
Yeah, so I thought they confirmed it already.
Not running on the same engine as all the other games, but whatever.
Because EA doesn't want to actually optimize anything.
I guess not.
Anyway, so my next one is Fire Emblem Path of Radiance / Radiant Dawn. Either or a combo pack HD will come out. There'll be some sort of trailer, and that'll be because of a delay for Fire Emblem Switch. This is kind of going out on a limb. I don't really think that it's going to happen. But
so would this follow the
else.
Echoes?
Yeah, that's what I ask.
Yes, yeah, I think so. It'd be an Echoes. One of the two or both. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, if it's one of the two, it better be Path of Radiance.
Right, because Radiant, it would make no sense for Radiant Dawn to come out first. So it's either Path of Radiance or both. Not either or. But
okay,
we haven't gotten
hold it to you.
Yeah, I know.
If it's not an Echoes game, then
okay.
Well, no, if these get released in HD in general, I think that's fine because it's not happening.
All right.
Thanks, Jordan. Appreciate that. No, I couldn't think of anything else, and I was just like, well, let's at least put something out there on why Fire Emblem Switch could possibly be delayed, even though I really don't want it to be. But anyway, that's my thought. James, you can give yours since it's Fire Emblem related, but takes a different route.
So, okay, because I honestly think this one sounds a little too obvious. But then again, I said that about the last Direct, and what happened? It didn't happen. It wasn't showed. I was sad. So Fire Emblem was finally going to be revealed for the Switch, like, the game that they've teased for, over a year now. But because that's too boring, I'm going to go out on a limb and say the focus of this one, and you're probably going to hate me, is going to be pirates. It's going to be a pirate themed.
It's going to be a pirate game. Okay.
There'll be pirates and bandits. I don't know.
Well, there's bandits in every Fire Emblem.
Yeah, there's bandits, but the main cast will be pirates and they will be bandits. Like, it's not necessarily that they're the bad guys per se, but they're anyway.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like that perhaps they'll try a different route with Fire Emblem, like instead of just being the king hero or whatever. It's just they're gonna do like these outsiders, but still have waifus. Okay, here's another thing. There still be waifus. Like that's not going away.
You can still get married.
With mermaids being a new race.
Oh,
that'd be sweet.
I mean, it would fit with the pirates.
So their movement on land is like 1 square at a time, but in water they can move like 7.
So funny to see. They're just like crawling on their arms.
I think that'd be great. All right, a pirate themed Fire Emblem game. Love it. Do it. Ship it. Let's make it happen.
Oh gosh. I think I just dug my hole there. Dug my grave there.
All right. Well, Jordan, how about you give your next one?
All right, I'm predicting that Starfox Grand Prix is real, and they're going to show it off with a huge trailer. It'll be great. Wonderful.
Yeah, it would be wonderful if it was real. Ha! No, there's a lot of signs pointing that it is real, but I guess like a part of me is just like, go out on a limb and say it's not real and it's going to be, what Retro is working on is different than this.
It's DKC3.
Oh, well, hey, that I don't think people would object to that.
With the return of K. Rool.
No. Don't be ridiculous here, David.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
But so that's just doing that. That's what I feel. That's what my gut's saying. Don't hurt me.
Yeah, you guys are on the polar opposite side. I didn't want to comment really or make a prediction on Starfox Grand Prix because it sounds awesome, but at the same time, I don't think that I actually really want it. I need to definitely see some gameplay and a trailer for it if it is real. So
I'll be excited for it if they heavily change up the racing genre because of it. If it's just a straight up racer, then I have no interest. I'm not a huge fan of racers. But if it is heavily focused on a single player aspect and you get to shoot down the other racers and all that stuff, and there's a huge negative side to getting shot down, then I'm all for it. If it's basically Star Fox but go faster than everyone else, great.
Like, as far as racing games goes, I mean, honestly, all I need is Mario Kart and F-Zero, because F-Zero is like, you go really fast, and there's more to the in like FX, you go or GX, excuse me, there's like obstacle in some of the racetracks, or you have to get through boulders, whatever. But then Mario Kart is the actual good racing game. So those like the only two that I need, and I don't need anything else unless they change it up somehow. But anyway,
I mean, it's Retro. I'm sure that they'll do something crazy awesome with it if it is real. So, oh, cool. My third party, I guess prediction, it has to do with Square Enix. I'm betting some sort of port, a collection of some kind from Square Enix is going to come. I'm thinking the remastered Kingdom Hearts collection that they released a few years ago on the PlayStation 4, or one of the newer Final Fantasy games will be coming. A lot of people are like, please let Kingdom Hearts 3 come to the Switch. And while I'd really like that to happen, at the same time, I really doubt that it will. I don't know.
I don't think it can.
The game looks like really complex and way too over the top for the Switch to handle. I mean, I'm sure they could make it work if they tried hard enough, but this game has been in development so long that I don't think that Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be ported at all. So maybe to make up for that, they release the HD final mixes of 1 and 2 or something like that. So yeah, that's my prediction on Kingdom Hearts. By the way, I probably won't buy it because I now have it for my PlayStation 4, but I'll talk about that later when we get to what we've been playing this week. So anyway, some Square Enix port, probably Kingdom Hearts or one of the newer Final Fantasies. All right, Jordan, why don't you introduce the next one?
Well, so I predicted that we're going to get some sort of HD Zelda remake.
Yeah, and I predicted pretty much the same thing. I'm thinking down the lines of either Twilight Princess or Wind Waker being ported, or it just straight up Skyward Sword HD.
I think Ocarina of Time might actually get it.
That's
it is the 20th anniversary for Ocarina of Time this year.
Oh, dang, it is.
Wow.
So it could either be Ocarina
cool.
of Time. That would definitely be a system seller on its own. Like, not a full remake, but just kind of like HD up-resing effectively.
That'd be awesome.
A lot of people would flock over just to play Ocarina of Time in HD. And then,
I agree.
But Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, those are also really easy to port over and free money. So I don't know.
Buy them again.
Some sort of Zelda will be put out. I think Nintendo's going to try and have Zelda have a yearly release until the next Breath of the Wild game, just because the Switch's core identity is so heavily influenced by Zelda fans at the moment due to Breath of the Wild, and that being the big launch game.
Yeah, then that's totally fair. It makes
I see what you're coming
absolute
from.
sense. I mean, we got Hyrule Warriors this year. We got Breath of the Wild last year. Yeah, they'll give us the next an HD game next year.
That's a good point. That's a good. You said yeah, okay. I totally forgot about Hyrule Warriors. I was thinking, wait, there hasn't been a game this year yet. So you're predicting one in the latter 2018. But no, we hadn't Hyrule Warriors, so never mind.
So cool.
Oh yeah. So mine is not a Zelda remake. I I don't know. I guess I'm thinking that's going to happen next year or something like that. But mine is a Wario Smooth Moves sequel for Switch. I know we're getting the Wario collection on the 3DS, but I just think they're going to try it for a Switch version, especially with the HD Rumble. They're going to do some weird things with that.
The Switch kind of isn't. The Switch hasn't gotten that many party games quite yet compared to past
really
Nintendo systems.
I mean, the only one that we have,
great game for that.
Yeah, and the only one that we have in our family is Just Dance, but I don't play it. I know my little brother plays it with some of his friends and my sister's friends.
Guys? 1, 2, Switch.
I do think Mario Party has higher priority than WarioWare, though.
Oh, good point. Oh, I didn't even think about
true.
Mario Party. Oh well, I've said what I said. Can't take it back. But yeah, Mario Party actually has a pretty good chance.
Yeah, but I would love to see WarioWare Smooth Moves, a sequel to that, because Smooth Moves was one of the best party games on the Wii. Like, we still played it, you know, even just last year. We got together and played it, even though it was one of the first titles for the Wii, which is incredible. So I hope so. WarioWare needs some more representation.
That it does.
As for my final, and I guess Jordan's as well, Metroid Prime Trilogy HD will be announced. I think that this is a must for the Switch, and I think Nintendo will announce this considering Metroid Prime 4 is coming. It's a good way to get fans back into the series, or even non-fans, create new fans by, just having this trilogy so they at least understand where Metroid Prime 4 is coming from. They'll have an opportunity to play it on the Switch, the entire trilogy, and we just need some good old-fashioned Metroid Prime on the Switch because I love it too much.
Definitely. We're definitely going to get Metroid Prime Trilogy HD. It just makes too much sense to have it. Although this isn't my prediction, but I do think that they're going to have some sort of subtitle to move away from the number system for Metroid Prime 4. It's not going to be Metroid Prime 4. It will be Metroid Prime something else. And they'll try to start off a kind of a new sub-story entirely. So it'll follow.
I thought you were saying it won't be Metroid Prime Trilogy. It'll be something else. But you're saying it won't be Prime 4.
I think they're going to try and distance themselves from the original trilogy just because it's been so long since the last trilogy and they don't want to confuse potential new
and then that makes
people
sense.
getting in.
I mean, all of the trilogy games have subtitles. You have Metroid Prime, except for the first one, of course. But the second one is Metroid Prime Echoes. The third one is Metroid Prime Corruption. And I guess
but they still had the numbers, didn't they?
Right. Yes, they did. So
I think they'll drop the numbers, and then you'll just have to know that it's Prime 4.
Interesting.
That'd be really cool. That would make a lot of sense too.
But I do still think the original trilogy will come in HD, just because it's not that hard to bring them over, right? You just have to upscale.
Yeah, and figure out what you're going to do. If you're going to do like Pro Controller type stuff, if you're going to keep a lot of the motion control options in Prime 3. Because you did have like all of that, pull the Wii remote back, twist it and push it back in to unlock this lock, or yank on the thing with the grapple hook to pull off the cover. They could assign that to buttons easily, but...
Oh, yeah. I think they'll assign it to buttons. Hopefully it'll be a dual stick, a modern dual stick shooter scheme, but...
So my prediction is also Metroid Prime related, but it deals with Metroid Prime 4. So I think they will show a teaser trailer. So whoa, that's not surprising. But they'll have a target launch date for 2019. I'm thinking late 2019. But there'll be no gameplay in that trailer because they're going to save that all for E3, and that'll be the showcase for E3
for next year,
2019.
So like the entire E3 booth, like how they themed the last one after Mario Odyssey.
And they'll probably theme this one with Smash. This next one in 2019
will be themed around Prime. Cool. Yeah. That'd be cool. I'd take that. I'd rather them take their time with Metroid Prime 4, especially if they announce the Prime Trilogy HD.
I mean, if they give us a trailer, I mean, granted, there will be some who'd be like, "Where's the gameplay?" But I think a trailer would be enough to hold us over. Because at least we see Samus, right?
Right.
What, you don't want it to be the Federation force saving Samus again?
No.
Hey, they're people too.
They're not as cool as Samus.
This is very true.
As long as we get some sort of Metroid Prime news, either Prime 4 having an earlier release date than I hope, or Prime Trilogy, I'll be happy.
Honestly, it'd be such a gut check if there is nothing Prime. It's like, how dare you do that to us?
Why'd you give us a freaking logo last year and then nothing this year? I hate you, Nintendo. I hate you. But yeah, so those are our different predictions. Skylar couldn't be with us tonight, but he wanted to include just one prediction because he said that all of the stuff that he really wants has already technically been confirmed and leaked, I guess. But he says, and he predicts that there will be Super Mario Odyssey DLC announced at E3 this year. And if not, they'll even show us a glimpse of Mario Odyssey 2. He loves that game.
No, I mean, honestly, like if it's not DLC, I think they're going to I think it'd be silly for them not to have some sort of added content or sequel to Odyssey.
So yeah, Skylar will win some points if there's some Mario Odyssey DLC or an Odyssey 2 announced. So let's hope that he's right, or maybe not. I don't know. We want to win more points than him, but he only has one.
How competitive do you want to be?
We also have a bonus round, kind of like how we had a bonus round for our Smash one where we predicted the box art color. So for
was
Smash,
that the bonus round?
That was the bonus round last time.
We did that at the very beginning of our predictions because
that's right.
it was
That's right.
But anyway, this bonus round is a character that gets a full trailer for Smash Brothers. My prediction is the retro character of Excitebike. I couldn't really think of anybody, so that's just kind of who I went with.
That's what it's like. Excitebike, huh? All right. I mean, they did. I mean, yeah. I mean, sure. Why not?
Yeah. All right.
That's pretty important.
Yeah. Jordan?
I think it's finally Ridley's time. They've said for forever that it's not possible, but they also said that about
Sorry, no,
the Animal Crossing guy.
About Villager?
Yeah, Villager. So I think they need to have some big Nintendo-focused character, and Ridley has been requested so much and has kind of just become a meme within the game that it's finally time for him. It will draw a lot of attention if they get him to work somehow, and I think they're going to put some serious effort getting him to work this time.
That'd be really cool.
Like, I think almost any character would get this, but Ridley specifically, do you know how insane that theater will be where they're having the Smash tournament and they have a Ridley trailer? Like,
oh yeah.
You'd have to like drag people out of that theater because they're just like losing their minds. Sakurai is like, oh, get away from me.
All the people that are live streaming it, their live reactions, will be even more intense than the announcement. Yeah.
Well, on top of all this, a bunch of fans have been getting Ridley mods into Smash Bros, and some of them are getting really close to him actually being viable. So you can't let the fans outdo you, Sakurai.
Yeah, Sakurai, come on.
All right.
It's impossible. Well, honestly, he's too big. Excuse you. Look at this mod.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I think Sakurai just says stuff like without like he's said that Smash isn't actually a fighting game. He said that before, but then he's come back to say Smash is a fighting game because he'll contradict himself. He'll say things that
Well, my favorite was when he said after Brawl came out, they asked what he would do for another Smash Bros, and he said, "I wouldn't add any new characters. Maybe just a few more characters to Smash 4."
He just either says whatever on its mind, or he just likes to misdirect people. I don't even know. Sakurai's his own man.
He does whatever he wants.
He does whatever he wants. I mean, he said he was done with Smash, right? Like, I didn't believe that, but a lot of people were like, "Oh yeah, he's done." But anyway, so my gut is telling me, even though this is a recent Switch game, I'm thinking we're gonna see ARMS characters. But I mean, I'm not entirely sure who, aside from Spring Man. I mean, Spring Boy or whatever it is.
Yeah, Spring Man and Ribbon Girl.
Spring Man. Well, I don't know. I
think they could
Ribbon
actually
Girl,
make.
maybe.
Well, I
Like Ribbon Girl's not a bad choice. I think like Quintel would be even cooler though.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're going to just do one ARMS character, I'd say Springman. But they could do what they did with Villager and have Ribbon Girl be an alt costume for Ribbon Man.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen, but I could see it.
I guess I could see that, but it's different because with the villagers, like they all play the same, right?
Yeah.
But like Spring Man and Ribbon Girl, they play differently in their games. I mean, obviously same with Tintel's. I don't know, but I guess it's not out of the question.
Nah.
I don't know. I think the Inklings missed out on Smash 4, so I think ARMS are going to miss out on Smash 5.
That's a fair assumption.
It's a fair assumption. Well, if you want to hear more about our Smash Brothers predictions where we played the same game, you should go listen to episode number 94. We called it Super Smash Bros. Kerfuffle for Switch. We talk a lot about our Smash Bros. Predictions, and we played the same game. And once the game comes out, we'll tally up our scores and let you know how we did on that. Same with this E3 episode. After E3 is done, we'll announce who's in the lead with all of our points, and we'll just keep doing this for big announcements. So
I'm gonna be the loser here.
I'm afraid I'm going to be. I don't know. That Fire Emblem Path of Radiance prediction of mine, or Radiant Dawn prediction of mine, that's probably going to cost me.
Yeah, well, at least you didn't predict Doom 2.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident in mine. I'm never wrong about anything.
He's got a point.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, anyway, let's move on to what we've been playing this week. I'll go first and just say I've been playing a bit more Hyrule Warriors, just kind of grinding through some of the various modes, adventure mode, legend mode. Really liking Sia's story. Didn't really experience that on the 3DS at all. It's kind of fun how that parallelizes the main story. Adventure mode is going to take way too long for me to get any fraction of a decent percentage completed of that. I mean, I've done like a handful of maps and it's like 1% completed on that one map. And I'm like, I did like 8 maps on this. What are you talking about? But yeah, it's still a great game. Still a lot of fun. If you haven't played Hyrule Warriors yet and you're interested, again, go grab the definitive edition on your Switch. It's great. I also bought a PlayStation 4 as a graduation gift to myself. And I bought the Kingdom Hearts, whatever the bundle pack is called. It has Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, as well as Chain of Memories, Dream Drop Distance, and 365 or 362 over 5 days. I can never remember the actual number on that, but it's nice having a PlayStation. The PlayStation is very different from the Switch. There are way more menu options, and I feel a little overwhelmed and lost. I guess hopefully the next iteration of the Switch finds a perfect balance between functionality of the PlayStation 4 and the simplicity that the Switch already has. But I'm really liking the PlayStation. It's nice to have a powerful console, and it's great to be able to play Kingdom Hearts in HD. Like, it really is. So
I tell you, like, I mean, I know Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to stick with that title. I mean, thank goodness. But the other Kingdom Hearts titles and just everything in general is just so convoluted and
when
confusing.
they made Kingdom Hearts 2.5, that was kind of the last straw. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, that was the beginning of the end.
Yes.
For everything else. So I've been playing a game we got for review from THQ Nordic. Is that right, David? Is that who we got it from?
Yep.
Legend of K Anniversary Edition. Just Anniversary? I don't know. So this is a PS2 game. And I never played it, but I definitely saw it on the shelf. It's like, oh, that's a, tack crash Spyro looking game. It has a very much a feel of a PlayStation 2 era game. And
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
right. And you would think with the Anniversary Edition, like I thought it would be much more of a remake, and it does look better than it would on the PlayStation 2. No question about that. But you can still see that this is a PlayStation 2 game. Like it's not
a remake.
It's not a remake. Yeah, like it's more of like we kind of up-resed it, like, but it's even when it's up-resed, you kind of see a lot of the more of the edges, if you will, the corners cut corners or whatever. So it's not as polished, and so it is kind of like a hard going into it with that in mind. And it does have a slow beginning. I mean, you think Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess has a slow beginning. This one, like, I don't know. It's not. It doesn't have like. It has a story to it, but it's not that engrossing. So it's hard to keep going through the tutorials. But when you finally get out of the tutorials, it does get the fun does pick up a bit. But I don't know. It's way too early for me to give any sort of final verdict on it. But so far, it's kind of meh. It's okay. But maybe as I go on, it'll shine better. But
That's actually been a game I've been interested in picking up.
well, it does play like Zelda, and the combat is not too bad. I do have some fun with it when it lets me fight. But I feel like there's a bit of a pacing issue. But then again, I'm still towards the beginning, so we'll see.
Jordan, what have you been doing?
So I've been playing a bit of Phoenix Rising, which is a Pokemon fan game built from the ground up in some RPG Maker
Oh, cool.
version. And I like it. There's no new Fakemon in it.
Okay.
But they do have sort of like a Alolan form-esque sort of things going on. The Tentacruel one looks pretty sweet. It's like a witch of some sort. So it's like a psychic water type. But they add in a bunch of different elements that we're used to in Western RPGs, like choice matters and renegade and paragon options. And the first chapter is out now. They're going to be releasing it in chunks for demos. And it's a good 5 to 6 hours long.
Cool.
And I really liked it. I think it's the best Pokemon fan game out there so far.
Dang. Yeah, those Paragon Renegade options, that sounds really interesting.
They're not as like complex as something like Mass Effect. But for example, like one of them, you just have like certain choices that will have some residual consequences following afterwards. So for a really early basic one, in the first town you go to, there's a quest where a dirty salesman is cheating everyone out of their money in the town. And so you agree with the police to go hunt down this salesman, and you find him, and he offers you a bribe to just let him go, like a gold nugget, which at the beginning of the game is pretty decent. Or you can choose to fight him and turn him into the cops. And then supposedly there's supposed to be some later consequences, but it hasn't played out yet because the demo I don't think, got far enough in, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, it looks super impressive. I'm looking at some screenshots and gameplay, and it looks awesome. It's like a lot like, I guess, the art style of Diamond and Pearl, that era of Pokemon. It looks really cool. I'll give it a try.
It's fun. It's really enjoyable.
That's something I kind of wanted from Pokemon games, where there can be different outcomes beyond just I raised this team. What team did you raise? Like, people can experience the world in different ways. I think that's something that's kind of been lacking. And that's what Breath of the Wild was so great as, because each person did it their own way, And so I think Pokemon could really benefit from that. So maybe I'll check out this Phoenix Rising, because that just sounds great.
I've got to say, this Ho-Oh Arisen or Arisen form looks freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And they added a Mega
Arizona
Flygon
form?
and Mega Arcanine. Dang. This is cool.
Yeah, so Growlithe, Staryu, and I can't remember what's the previous form to Lilligant? Petlil?
Yeah, Petlil.
Those are the 3 starters for the game.
That's cool.
Oh, really?
So kind of changing up a bit, and each one has a new Mega Form as their final evolution.
I can see him right here. Mega Starmie looks like it turns into a galaxy.
Yeah.
What in the world?
I went with Staryu, but Arcanine is pretty sweet too.
James, I'll hurry and post this in our group chat here so you can see real quick. But like, I love these forms. The Mega Flygon looks super cool, and so does the Mega Frostlass. Like, that's impressive. These are like Pokemon that I wanted Mega forms for as well. Also, they have different different forms or I guess like costumed forms of Pokemon. So like this relic Ambipom.
Yeah, so the relics are kind of like the Alolan forms.
That's so cool.
These are drawn really well. Like,
Yeah.
these are really good Fakemon.
Well, that's something to do if you're not into Pokemon Let's Go.
And I believe as they release more chapters, your save file, they intend your save file to continue on as each chapter is released.
That's really
Oh,
cool.
well,
Who knows how
would
long
hope
it'll take
so,
till chapter 2
otherwise-
comes out? I think it took them 3 years to get chapter 1 out. So
ooh.
Well, they're scripting in RPG Maker XP. So
most of the basics should be down by now. So they should just be able
Yeah.
to hammer it out pretty quickly.
that's really cool.
That's good.
That's really cool. Well, congratulations to the Phoenix Rising team. You got awesome Fakemon, awesome concept. Really cool. Well, is there anything else that we need to talk about this episode? I can't think of anything else.
I do want to say I'm going into E3 with tempered expectations. I don't think we're going to get that many big reveals this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Nothing
think
like-
that's fair.
Nothing mind-blowing. I think it's kind of an awkward year for all three of the big publishers. Microsoft and Sony, I think, are gearing down for their next generation reveal next year. And Nintendo, I think they front-loaded a lot of their content last year. So they're going to be a bit slower paced this year.
Yeah, I definitely see that. I mean, I can see like Sony's being just Last of Us 2. Like,
Well, I think
Yes.
Sony already said that there's going to be no new announcements. They're just going to focus on games that have already been announced, which is fine because
they did say something like that. Yeah.
they still have a lot announced right now that they haven't finished. They have the Spider-Man game, Last of Us, the new Samurai game. That's just off the top of my head. And then they'll probably get Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy in there as well. And that's already filling up a full conference right there.
Oh, I forgot another prediction. For Death Stranding, we'll get another really weird thing where a guy like stabs his like pregnant wife, and then she turns into a monster, eats him, and then he dissolves into a Twinkie. And
There'll be another 15-minute presentation that makes no sense whatsoever.
exactly.
Hey, Kojima,
With
do
no
you know what this
gameplay.
game is? And it's like, hey, Kojima, do you know what your own game is?
No, I just take acid and then animate for a day.
Get some motion capture
Why
going.
did Konami fire me? I'm just kidding. He left. I think he left Konami. No. Konami fired him. Never mind.
Yeah, Konami fired him.
Because he was too good at his job.
Jerks.
Anyway, well, I guess that'll do it for us this week, folks. Thanks for tuning in to the podcast. Before we end, just like to say thanks for joining us. Your support means a ton.
I'd like to give a shout out to Skylar. He composes our intro music and our outro music. He's a talented dude. You can check out his SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/skytar with a 5.
And I'd like to shout out to our Patrons, Chris, Chase, and Ratmvp. Your support means a ton. If you want to support the show, head to patreon.com/NintenCity. If you want to get access to those, you edited the thing.
Whoops. I'm sorry. I edited too quickly. It's supposed to say, if you want to get access to the early episodes and the bonus content that we're working on soon, just check out patreon.com/Nintensity. Sorry, Jordan, I cut into your thing.
He was editing it as I was trying to speak it.
I'm so sorry. Jordan, you
What
can
do you
do
think
the
he is, a broadcaster?
I'm sorry. Jordan, go ahead and do the Patreon one then, since I cut you off.
That was the Patreon one.
I mean, the Discord one.
David, you were ruining
I'm
us.
so sorry. Go ahead.
I'd also like to invite you to join our Discord community. We're trying to set up a fun place for people to visit and hang out. Head to Ninten.city/Discord to join us today. If you support us on Patreon, you get access to some special chats on our Discord as well.
Well, don't forget to check out our YouTube page. We have some great kind of E3 content. Kind of like we're basically talking about Smash right now. We have a Smash video that came out on Monday today, and then we'll have one on Friday that's coming out, and those are both by Unsquare Network. But then we have a Let's Go video that's supposed to come out on Tuesday, so look forward to that as well. If you like what you see, give us a little subscribe.
And don't you love it when we coordinate these end things? I'm sorry, we'll do better for this stuff in the future. But anyway, thanks for tuning in to the Virtual Boys podcast this week. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show on iTunes. And please be sure to share the show with your friends to help spread the word of the show around. We'd really appreciate that. Also, check out our website at nintendcity.com where you can find news, show notes, and more. This week's show notes are available at nintend.city/EP101. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Goodbye, you good people.